What's up, guys? This is Mikey from Set for Tomorrow. We're trying this new thing where we basically dive in depth into each Set for Tomorrow song, kind of give you guys a little bit of an idea of what all goes into a song, just in terms of layering, in terms of writing and stuff like that. Just a general analysis and a little bit more detail. So let me know if you guys like this kind of content. Drop a comment below. Say, hey, what's up? I like this, or hey, this shit sucks. I don't ever want to see you guys ever do this ever again, and kind of give us an idea where we are. So anyways, without further ado, let's jump straight into the new narrative. Once we had that first initial riff, that like kind of like yeah, like the rest of it just kind of wrote itself. We had this little lead guitar part, so this like kind of lo-fi part here. And we also had this other layer here that we also wanted to add just to kind of have just like kind of like a triad kind of feel to it, like that real heroic feel. So when everything came in, we turned off the low pass filter. Basically just a high and low pass automation, cut it, boom. Essentially when everything drops in. I mean, we've got some leads and stuff. Just something to add a little bit more movement to the whole section. We've got another lead that comes in during the chorus here. And so that one, it's just a little bit more ambience throughout the chorus here. I'll go ahead and play it for you guys. With those triads. I know this part clashes musically and it drove James nuts. James is very analytical. I love you, James. But those aren't in the same key. But it still sounds good. So, yeah, James hates me for that sometimes. He's like, dude, it's not the same key. And I'm like, James, I love you, bro. But if it sounds good, let's roll with it, baby. Let's roll with it, baby. Anyways, so overall, with those layers, it sounds something like this.
Don't say what you want, don't ever say what you need. You'll never cut through the noise of the narrative. Say what you will.
So as you can hear, there's some other stuff going on in the background over this chorus as well. I'm a huge sucker for like really vintage sounding synths. So jumping into some of the synth production here. The chorus. Real granular. I love Omnisphere. Omnisphere is like a go-to for everything for me. So just ran a basic patch, did some very minor tweaking to it just in terms of saturation, stuff like that, some reverb, some saturation, some EQ, a little bit more EQ, and then a little bit of stereo widening. So it just really gives it that big box feel. So actually, if I come in here and I turn off the widener, you really need headphones to hear the difference here. But with headphones, it makes a really big difference. It makes the synth feel like instead of being more in front of you, it's more like caressing the mix, if you will. And it definitely frees up a little bit of that mid-range so the vocals can cut through nice and big. But it definitely adds a lot more in the sides. So I know I'm kind of going out of order here, but let's jump back into the intro part of the song. There's some other layering here that I did during the intro. I just added these like doom synths. I like to add a lot of just textural synth stuff that doesn't necessarily have a lot of like tonal definition, if you will, but stuff that just has more of like a grit or texture, or it's something more so that you feel rather than you audibly hear. So I'll give you an example of these. Stuff like this. Sounds kind of like something you'd add in a Doom soundtrack. So there's one layer, and then I add these pump layers. Narrative. Boom. So some of that stuff definitely adds a little bit of texture. So we'll let you listen to that one more time. The whole thing kind of pumps a little bit. And there's one other thing going on here in the intro that I want to kind of shine some light on here, and that is some trap hats. Also, yeah, we got these trap hats going on here, and I know there's some claps here too. Yeah. Just some very basic samples. Anyways, moving forward, we've got obviously just traditional bass drops, slams, impacts, stuff like that. That's, you know, we don't have to take a ton of time into. Stuff like that. Just kind of helps overall punch through. So this part is probably one of my favorite parts. I don't know if you guys listen to. I'm gonna give this away. This is my one thing that nobody's picked up on, but they'll pick up on now that I'm mentioning it. Is Silent Planet. I love Silent Planet. I'm very inspired by them. I love the sound design. I'm also very inspired by Doom, which I think a lot of people are. Just the soundtrack is phenomenal. Also phenomenal game too. But yeah, so definitely kind of a blend of those two. I know Silent Planet was messing around with some of these like industrial synths and stuff like that. I thought that would be a really cool direction for Set for Tomorrow to take with this song. So that was just kind of a decision that I experimented around with a little bit. And once I started kind of landing on some of these synths, I was like, man, this is cool. So I will show you guys kind of what that sounds like on its own. Just added some like rustic freaking Slipknot cans, if you will, over that part too. All together. One more thing I wanted to go over, and that is basically to give the whole mix that sort of sponginess that I wanted to get. I love a lot of like Zach Cervini's mixes and stuff like that. Obviously, I think this mix is very different than something that Zach Cervini would do, but I definitely still tried to take some pages out of his book just in terms of general production. So with these two layers, essentially, what I did was I added a bass layer, just a generic bass guitar. And I reinforced that with this. Just a basic sine wave subwoofer, essentially. Now, I think I used Omnisphere for that. Yeah, just did a super low pass on it. Brainworks has a really nice plugin called Subfilter. Basically, so with those two, essentially I'm running a compressor here that compresses off of the kick drum. So I basically side chained the compressor to the kick at a fast attack. And so with that, depending on the tempo of the song and how, you know, if the part's doing a lot of double bass, obviously you want to have a very fast attack on that, fast release. So that way the release pumps harder against the kick. But for a lot of stuff like Zach Cervini's doing the slower, he can run a slower release time, and it gives it that spongy like feel on the whole mix. Let's jump into vocals. So he did this whisper thing here in the beginning. I will go ahead and just play that for you guys.
You're wrong to think what you think, so wrong to feel how you feel. Just shut your mouth and bow down.
Oh yeah, I added some in the screams bus too, that's right.
You're wrong to think what you
Yeah, there we go. So the two of them together add some texture. We've also got this like hit the floor layer.
Hit the floor.
So that together. So jumping straight into this chorus, Patty had some really good melody ideas, some good layering, good harmonies, pretty much just already packaged up. Like, I mean, he literally did it overnight, sent it to me, I plugged it in, and it sounded amazing. So let's take a look at what he had here.
Don't say what you want, don't ever say what you mean. You'll never cut through the noise of the narrative. Say what you will, you're left to die on the hill. Don't ever question the truth, the narrative.
Disgusting. That's why we love Patty. All right, so the second verse, Patty had a really good idea. I piggybacked off that idea vocally. Kind of took the lead on that one. A lot of this is Patty's original melody and stuff like that. I just came in with some additional harmonies, some additional layering, etc. And I will show you guys kind of what that sounds like.
Maybe this is my happy.
Added this really cool like hall type reverse delay going on with that together.
Maybe this is my happy place. Safe space.
So just really adds that kind of ping-pongy stereo width effect that I was really looking to get out of that. We also added this low layer here.
Maybe this is my happy place.
Some high stuff.
Self-destructive safe space. I can't remember what it feels like.
So just really layered that part up, and then everything together kind of came out something like this.
Maybe this is my happy place. A self-destructive safe space that I can't remember.
So all together.
Maybe this is my happy place. A self-destructive safe space that I can't remember.
Added that low arp there with the textural stuff underneath it.
A self-destructive safe space that I can't remember what it feels like.
Woo! Love that, love that, love that, love that. And there's some other things here. I guess I can quickly go through. It's basically some of the verses. We had a lot of this textural stuff going on in the background. That's personally my favorite part of the whole job. So I'll show you guys kind of what we're working with on this verse here. Very eerie. Very cool. Spooky, spooky, spooky. So that's about wrap for the new narrative. Thank you guys so much for checking this out. If you guys like what you hear, please make sure you drop that comment. Again, this is your friendly reminder. Please drop the comment. It helps us out. It lets us know what you guys like to see from us and what we can do to further improve our content for you guys. So with that being said, here is our outro card. Brendan, please insert outro card right now.
I don't wanna be the one.